So there is a continuation. Yesterday we didn't get to talk about sati and sati indriya and so on. Lokam said there is one small thing, observation connected with the talk on feelings of pains and the self-mortification. This Atta yoga is always mixed up with some kind of view. That's the thing that we didn't get into yesterday.
දැන් අපි ඔය මේ මිත්‍යා කතා කිව්වට මේ දැන් ආලාර කාලාමල වගේ ඒගොල්ලෝ අත්ත කියලා මතන් යෝගේ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන මේ ක්‍රමේ සතිපට්ඨානෙ නැහැ මේ ක්‍රමේ විතරයි වෙනස්.
So people like Alara Kalam, Ekiana, Kamasagata Samadhi Tibunot,
Kamasagata Samadhi Kamasaga Ditya.
So people like Alara Kalama, they had this view about actions and the results, not the right. We cannot call it right view or Samadhi. But kind of view, and based on that they were practicing. So as a result, that kind of view was not this kind of wrong view, and which is mixed up, always mixed up with the self-mortification, and they were not followers of the self-mortification.
I told them මේක අත්කල මතන වගේ සම්පූර්ණම අයින් කරන්න ඕනේ මොකක් නැහැ එච්චරයි කියන්න තියෙන්නේ.
So anyway, this talk on self-mortification, we need to we need to stay away from self-mortification, and I think what Lokama means also this talk that depends in meditation if they are not self-mortification, so that idea is also like not like that. Because this self-mortification practice actually is a practice leading to some lower destination, unhappy destination.
So
that's enough. So yesterday we didn't get to the main topic, which was Eda Saddha Gena, Panya Gena, පුහුණු වෙන්නේ නැතුව ඒක හදන්න පුළුවන් ද නැද්ද කොහොමද? ඉතින් සතිමය වගේ අර සති භාවනා නැතුව පුළුවන් ද නැද්ද කොහොමද?
ඔව් ඒක දාද තියෙන්නේ.
So today is the topic should it seems to be discussion on sati and like without meditation practice if there can be some sati or how and so on.
ඔය සතිය නම් ඉතින් ඇත්තටම ඕනේ.
So this quality called sati is something absolutely necessary.
Oh, sati නැතුව නම් බෑ.
Without sati one cannot like do.
Oh, මේ බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ සෑම කුසලයක්ම සතියයි කියලා දේශනා කරනවා.
So Lokasana saying the Buddha said that within every wholesomeness there is sati.
එතකොට ඒ පාඩි මතකනේ තෝ කියන්නේ.
සත්පින්චකෝහම් වික්‍රේ සබ්බත්තිකම් වදා.
සත්පින්චකෝහම් සබ්බත්තිකම් දැනෙන්නේ.
So Lokamruko equal this stanza as meaning that.
ඉතින් අපිට දැන් මේ සතිය ගැන විස්තර කරනවා නම් මේ සතිපට්ඨාන තමයි මුලට.
So anyway this sati is translated as mindfulness, but I prefer if it's not translated.
ඔව් සතිපට්ඨානෙම මේ ගමන යන්න ඕනේ.
So this quality of sati is the root or beginning of the satipatthana or mindful, if you like, mindfulness training, and it is through the mindfulness and developing and establishing mindfulness or sati that one like really goes about the practice.
So දැන් අර ආලාර කාලාමල ඒගොල්ලන්ට මේ සතිය තිබුණා.
So this Alara Kalam and Uttaka Ramaputta Bodhisattva's meditation kind of teachers at one point, they also had sati.
ඒක සම්මා නෙමෙයි.
But it's not the kind of samma sati, correct?
මේ සම්මා සතියනේ අවශ්‍ය.
What we need to develop as a part of the practice is called samma sati.
ඔය සම්මා සතිය ඉතින් අපි පුරුදු කරන එක දැන් භාවනා කරනකොට.
And it is that when we come here and say we are meditating, that like the objective actually is developing this samma sati.
මේ සතිය අපිට මේ පුරුදු කරගන්න ඕනේ. දැන් සතිය කවුද ආනන්ද හාමුදුරුවෝ අග්‍රේ කෙනා.
So Lokam is now saying this, Venerable Ananda, the Buddha's attendant, one of the like topmost disciples, was the Buddha talked about him as like one of the top ones in regards to sati.
තමලකිට තතු අනිස්සර තියෙන අන්නේට කියන්නකො මට මතක නෑ. පාලිටි. මෙතන තියෙන අනුස්සරටි දිගටම තියෙන වාක්‍යයක්. ඒ දැන් ඒක
සති සරණතා අපිලාපනතා ඒක.
ඔව් අන්නේ අපිලාපනතා ඒක අනුස්සරටි කිය තියෙනවා. දීර්ඝ කාලයක් සිහිපත් කරනවා. පුළුවන් ඈතට සිහිපත් කරන්න.
බොහෝ කාලයකට කලින් කිව්ව දේවල් කරපු දේවල් සිහි කිරීමේ හැකියාව සතිය කියලා කියනවා.
ඔව් අන්න එහෙම කියලා තියෙනවා. ඒ හැබැයි මේ කීව කරපු දේවල් කියන්නේ මේ අපි දැන් මේ වැඩ කරන ඒවා එහෙම නෙවෙයි. මේ සතිපට්ඨානය එක්කලා කිව්ව කරපු දේවල්.
So this was said especially in regards to because whenever Ananda had like phenomenal memory, and this word sati is somehow connected with the words that describe the ability to recall or remember things. And it is actually one of the things where in one place where these different qualities of mind are described, the description given about sati is the ability to recall things that happened or were said in the very distant past. Lokam says this does not mean normal things like everyday occasions. It is the occasions where one was practicing satipatthana.
ඔව් දැන් අපි කියමු පොඩි කාලේවා පොඩි කාලේවා තීගන්න.
So let's say we remembered some things from our childhood.
ඒක මේකට වැටෙන්නේ නැහැ.
So that does not really count to what is being explained here.
ඔව් මේකට වැටෙන්නේම සතිපට්ඨානේ යම් ධර්මතාවයක් පුරුදු වුණාද කතා කළාද කිව්වද ඒවා.
So what is meant here, it's occasions where satipatthana was working or while doing some activities or talking, so that's what was meant.
ඔව් අපේ අනුරාධපුර යෝගයේ චූලාභය හාමුදුරුවෝ තමයි සතියෙන් අග්‍රව හිටියේ කෙනා.
So this is story from the old Sri Lanka, that there was this monk called Chulabhaya, and he was said to be the topmost one in regards to sati.
එහෙම ඉතින් එක එක්කෙනා ඒ විදිහට ඒ සතිය මේ ඉන්ද්‍රියක් බවට පරිවර්තන කරගෙන ඉඳපු අය ඉන්නවා.
So there were people like that. When the sati has turned into this spiritual faculty or indriya, so people that are prominent or well known as people that have achieved those levels of sati.
සාමාන්‍ය ඉන්ද්‍රියක් බවට පරිවර්තන කරගන්න ඉතින් මේ සතිපට්ඨානය තුළ වැඩෙන්න ඕනේ ඉන්ද්‍රිය ධර්ම.
So normally if one aims at turning this quality of sati turning into the spiritual faculty or ability of sati or sati indriya, one actually just the way to achieve that is really just practicing the four foundations of mindfulness or satipatthana.
සාමාන්‍ය භාවනා කරන යෝගීන්වා මේ සතිපට්ඨානෙ නැතුව.
There are some yogis, meaning like meditators or practitioners, that are practicing something but outside of the four satipatthanas.
ඔව් සතිපට්ඨානයට ඉතින් එයා මේ කුසලයේ නිතරම කුසලයේ තුල ජීවත් වෙනවා.
So even such a person, such a practitioner is always staying in some kind of wholesome.
නැත්තම් ඒ ධානාරම තියාගන්න බෑ.
Otherwise, because those practitioners sometimes might have absorptions and other things. So one cannot achieve absorption without sati. Or without staying in wholesome. So we need to ask the help of Venerable Sunita if he can write something on the board.
මෙතනින් පල්ලෙහාට ගමු. ආයෙත් ඒකම. එතකොට මේ සද්ධා, වීර්ය, සති, සමාධි, ප්‍රඥා.
Venerable Sunita is asked to write on the board
නැද්ද පෑන?
spiritual faculties from top to the bottom. So saddha or confidence, virya or energy or mental effort, sati, mindfulness, samadhi, concentration, and panya, wisdom or spiritual understanding.
Albertic Leander
So we have these qualities, these mind qualities of saddha, virya, sati, samadhi and panya on both sides. There is like a left column and a right column.
එකක් සමත පැත්ත, එකක් විපස්සනා පැත්ත.
So one of these columns is for the samatha practice or the tranquility practitioners, and the other one is for people that are practicing towards or in the vipassanas.
එකක් බුදුහාමුදුරු බුදු වෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා තීච්ච පැත්ත වෙයි.
So the samatha side, you can say it is actually the same practice that was there available in the world already before the Buddha's attainment of Buddha.
ඒක සම්මා පැත්තට හැරෙන්නේ නැතුවයි ඒ වැඩිලා තියෙන්නේ.
So there are some that practice this samatha side without turning that practice into the samma practice, that is the practice leading to enlightenment.
සම්මා පැත්තට වැටුනහම බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ දැකීමනේ සම්මා කියන්නේ.
So because the word samma, which is normally translated as right or correct or perfected or something, actually that means the way it was done or seen by the Buddha himself. So now we consider the practice which does not turn the practice towards what the Buddha was talking about.
ඉතින් අර බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ දැකීම තුලින් නෙවෙයි අපි ගන්න බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ දැකීම තුලින් තෙරුවන් එක්ක.
So for us, our practice is based on the refuge in the triple gem. That means like what we practice is supposed to be the way the Buddha saw the things and explained things.
මේකේ ඉතින් මේ පඤ්ඤාවේ ඉහළටම යන පඤ්ඤාව කියන්නේ තිරක්කනේ. ඒ ඉහළටම එනවා ඒක.
So that's the part of vipassana or insight where the difference there being the last ability or faculty of panya or wisdom. Within the samma practice or the way the Buddha saw that works completely to the top, like maximum. That means seeing the three and understanding the three characteristics.
ඒකට ඒක මේ විපස්සනා පැත්තේ ලැබෙනකොට මේ පඤ්ඤාව සම්පූර්ණ වෙනවා. තිරක්කනේ
So and it's actually like goes hand in hand. That means like maximizing, completing the panya means understanding or seeing the three characteristics.
ඉතින් මේකේ පඤ්ඤාව සම්පූර්ණ වෙන්නේ සමත පැත්තේ.
But in the pure samatha or tranquility meditation, it's like outside of the Buddha's practice or something. The wisdom is not completed like that.
ඉතින් පඤ්ඤාව සම්පූර්ණ ඒ පඤ්ඤාව සම්පූර්ණ වෙන්න ඉන්ද්‍රිය ධර්ම ටික එතකොට වැඩෙන්න ඕනේ.
So if one wants to achieve like completion of panya, all the spiritual faculties or indriyas have to be growing or working.
ඔව් සතියෙන්දී ඒ විදිහට වැඩෙනවා.
So like that spiritual faculty of sati needs to be growing and working.
ඔව් මේක භවගාමී වෙනවා ඒක අර භවෙන් නිදහස් වෙන්න වෙනවා.
The other difference between these two ways of practicing is the pure tranquility leads to some kind of existence, and the vipassana or insight side leads to like the end of existence, or like getting out of the situation when there is some kind of existence.
ඉතින් දැන් අපි සතිපට්ඨාන ගැන කතා කරනවනේ.
We are always talking about this thing called satipatthana.
ඔව් සතිපට්ඨානය තුළ ඉන්ද්‍රිය ධර්ම වැඩෙන්න වැඩිම මේ සිදු වෙනවා.
So within the satipatthana practice, or if you like mindfulness practice, these spiritual faculties start working and developing.
ඔව් එතකොට යම් ආරම්මණයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ සෑම ආරම්මණයක්ම සතියෙන් ගන්න පටන් ගන්නවා.
What starts happening, whatever object or like experience happens to be happening, that very same object starts to be apprehending to get that this sati, that means like as it is, this sati.
සබ්බේ ධම්මා මනසිකාතබ්බා.
So this is in Pali it's called sabbe dhamma manasikatava. All phenomena, or like even you can say all things, should be noted or attended to.
සබ්බේ ධම්මා යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාතබ්බා. දැන් පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනවා.
So then the next thing mentioned is sabbe dhamma yoniso manasikatava. So the difference there being the word yoniso, which is generally translated as wisely or deeply or thoroughly or something like that. So again, all things or all phenomena should be noted, but now noted thoroughly or wisely.
එතකොට ඒක සතියත් එක්ක යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාරය.
So this level of yoniso manasikara, this wise attention or thorough noting, is already happening together with sati.
කෙනෙක් සබ්බේ ධම්මා මනසිකාර වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාර ධම්මා වෙන්නේ.
So with some people they manage to get this sabbe dhamma manasikatava. They manage to note everything, but they don't manage to get to the level of the wise attention.
ඔව්. එතකොට දැන් මේ සතිය කියන එක අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තේරුම් ගන්න බෑ.
So that there is the other thing, that understanding this quality of sati is difficult.
ඔව්. අවිද්‍යා විද්‍යා දෝමනස්ස වෙන්නේ.
So to get some understanding, so if we go to the definition in the Satipatthana Sutta, there is this kind of definition there, or what it talks about is avidya domanasa vineya, which is generally in the English translation this part is translated as having been removed from covetousness and greed rejection or something like that.
දැඩි ලෝභයයි දෝමනස්සයයි.
So this avidya and domanassa, avidya means a strong greed or strong kind of desire, and domanassa means kind of domanassa so it is difficult. So in the translations the word used is not matching too much, but it means like mind gone bad. So this is kind of on the side of dejectedness or anger or aversion, that those kind of like becomes like even like displeasure or dislike, that's that kind of mind.
එනේන එක මේ එතකොට මේ යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාර කරනවා එනේන ධර්මතාවය. එතකොට දැන් සබ්බේ ධම්මා මනසිකාර සබ්බේ යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාර එනේන අරමුණ ඉතින් මේ අවිද්‍යා දෝමනස්ස දෙකෙන් තොරව ගන්නවා. දැඩි ලෝභයෙන් ගන්නෙත් නැහැ, දෝමනස්යෙන් ගන්නෙත් නැහැ.
අර ඒවා itu
ඔව් ඒව නැතුව.
අර යෝනිසෝ මනසිකාරයෙන් නැතුව ඒක ඔක්කොම වෙනින් කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි
ඔව්.
දෙඩි කොට තමයි.
ඔව්.
So the person that Lokam talked about that does not manage the wise attentions that might be able to note the things, but it is happening together with this strong grasping or holding onto or this dejectedness.
එහෙම
So the level of the wise attention, when that starts happening, these things are noted, but there is not this strong grasping and dejection.
ඔව් දැඩි ලෝභයත් පිටින් අයින් වෙලා දෝමනස්යත් අයින් වෙලා ආරම්භන මෙනෙහි කරනකොට.
So that means the mind has been now removed from apprehending the object while noting it, and it has been removed from both this strong desire or grasping at the object or dejecting.
එහෙම නැත්නම් එනදී හඳුන ගන්නවා. ඒ දෙකෙන් එනවනේ මොනවා හරි.
Part of that is like firstly recognizing those two qualities.
ඔය හඳුන ගත්තත් කමක් නැහැ. තියෙන්නේ මේක හඳුන ගන්න නැති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හඳුන ගන්න ඒව අයින් වෙනවා. ඈත් වෙනවා.
Actually that's the way it works. So first you attempt to know the objects, and if you start understanding, sometimes there is this strong grasping or holding on to the things, or dejectedness, or like kind of refuse, or like not liking those things. So after recognizing those two things happening together with the objects of experience,
දැන් මගේ නාය දාන්නේ ගමතකුණානේ සතිය නෑනේ. සතිය නැතුව ගිහලා මේ නාය දාන්නේ ගමත කියලා මේ තියලා එන ගේන්න වෙයි. තියනවද?
so Lokam said his sati has been not there because he did not put on the mask.
ඔව් දැන් සතිය නැති වෙලාද මානසිකාර නැති වෙලා.
So he's asking, is it manasik the attention or sati that was not
ඒක කරන්නේ නෑ. හරි හරි. දැන් බලන්න ඔයටි ඕ මානසිකාරයේ සතිය වෙන්න දැක්ක නේද?
So anyway, the point was, after recognizing the grasping onto and dejected mind when attending to the objects of experience, it's after recognizing those two qualities happening that the mind starts like getting out of that.
So අර ඇලින් ගැටින් දෙක තිබුණේ මේදී අමතක කෙරේ. මානසිකාරය අමතක කෙරේ.
So I did not have, in my case, I did not have any grasping after or refuse or like conflicting with the taking on the mask. I just did not remember that.
ඔව් මේ මානසිකාරය පෙළක්කට උදව් කරනවා මේකට.
So anyway, this paying attention or noting things or acknowledging things helps to some extent with some things.
ගාක් මානසිකාරය අපි කරනවා. ඇතැම් වෙලාවට මේ මානසිකාරය කළාට අර අවිද්‍යා දෝමනස්ස දෙක එච්චර අයින් වෙලා නැහැ.
So sometimes it can happen, somebody is actually noting quite diligently really what not is happening, yet the mind is not very removed from this like holding on to and rejecting.
ඔව් එහෙම දැන් අයින් වෙන විදිහට අපි මේ සිත පවතිනවනේ. එතකොට සතිචෛතසිකයත් එක්ක තමයි එහෙම පවතින්නේ වැඩිපුර. අනිත් ඒවා තියෙනවා සතිචෛතසිකේ ප්‍රධාන එහෙම පවතිනවා.
ඒ අයින් වෙන්න කතාව.
දැන් අවිද්‍යාව දවනස.
So it is like when one really gets this understanding about this like strong desire and rejecting, that one wants to like transcend it and get to the level where those are not part of the experience. So it is actually other good qualities are working within the practice, but this is mainly the job of sati really. So to get to that level, it's mainly the sati that needs to be leading the practice.
සතිය එහෙම පවතින නිසා මේ නැතකින්චි ලෝකයේ උපාදීය.
So then, as a result, that is mentioned in the Satipatthana Sutta, what Lokamru is quoting now, is a kind of a bit later on. One gets to the level which is called, he stays not clinging to anything in the world.
ඔව්. එතකොට දැන් උපාදාන වශයෙන් ගන්න එක තණ්හාවෙන් ගන්න නැත්නම් මාන්නයෙන් ගන්න දිට්ඨිය තණ්හාමාන දිට්ඨියනේ උපාදානයි කියන්නේ.
So here what is called upadana or clinging is translated as clinging or like grasping onto. It is one of the three things or kind of some of them it's craving, conceit and view.
So ඒ දැන් හොඳ යෝගිය තමයි නැත්නම් අවිද්‍යා දොමනස ඈත්ලා නමුත් ඉතින් අර මේ දැඩි කොට අරමුණු ගන්නවා.
So some yogis, they might be removed quite a lot from the like greediness or holding on to different things and rejecting different things, but yet within their practice still there happens this strong holding on to objects.
ඉතින් දැන් අර ඒ කන්න තුනෙන් අයින් වෙලා උපාදාන වෙන්නේ නැතු.
So whereas the other thing mentioned, like the practitioner stays without clinging to anything in the world, that means like there is no clinging whatsoever. That means neither of the three, like the experience is not clung to through any kind of craving, conceit or view.
යෝගියෝ භාවනාව වර්ග කරනවා වෙන්නේ.
So now
ඒක ස්වභාවික දෙයක් වර්ග.
So then the yogis, they are sometimes like differentiating different levels of yogis.
මට සමාධිය වැඩි. හරියට නෑ. අන්න ඒ වගේ හිතෙනවා.
So the yogi might think, and this is like natural occurrence, so quite often the yogi might think, I have concentration, that person does not have concentration, or I am energetic, that person is not energetic, and so on.
අන්න ඒ වගේ වර්ග කෙරිල්ල දැන් ඒ වර්ග කෙරිල්ල අඩු වෙලා යනවා නැති වෙලා යනවා.
So this kind of differentiating or pigeonholing people or classifying people and so on, or meditators, even that quality, when the practice goes correctly, starts decreasing.
ඔය දැන් වර්ග කරන යෝගය හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන්. එයාගේ සතියේ දුර්වලකම තමයි තියෙන්නේ. වර්ග කරන යෝගය හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන් අය. යානේ නකොට කතා බහ වැඩවල හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒක නරකක් නෙවෙයි. දැන් එයාගේ දැනුම භාවනා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ කන්නේ එයාගේ ඉන්ද්‍රියන්ගේ සංවරය එයාගේ ආත්මං අරමුණක හිතනවනේ. ඒ හිතනේවා එයා හිතන අනිත්‍යයට වඩා හොඳයි කියලා. එතකොට එතන මුලා වෙනවා. එතකොට සතිය අඩුපාඩුවක් තමයි.
So if I understand correctly, so if the situation is this quite often happens to, let's say, seasoned meditators, and one can actually recognize this quality in some like long-time meditators. There is nothing wrong with them because they have meditation experience, so they think about really good things like sense restraint and practicing and how to devote oneself to the practice and develop sati and so on. But along with those things, there is this quite classifying of other people as having a lack of this or that, or having one, like recognizing oneself as having more than the other person, and that is the only like problematic thing, because it is this very thing of classifying or like measuring up between people that is actually working against the further development of sati.
මම එක කතන්දරයක් කියන්න පොඩිය.
So I will tell you a small illustration story about it.
අලාවත පැත්තේ බස් මුදලාට කියන්නේ භාවනා කරන්නයිද 50 වල අඳුබඩ
So there was this kind of shop owner of businessmen from one side of Sri Lanka that came to meditate in the 1950s.
ඔව් ඉතින් දානශාලාවට එනවා කට්ටියකින් හාමුදුරුවෝ ඉස්සර එනවා මේ දැන් වයි. ඊට පස්සේ භාවනා කරන යෝගිතික එනවා පිටිපස්සේ. එක මහත්තයෙක්ගේ භාවනා කරන හලාවට බැස්ස එක්කෙනා රහත් වෙලා කියලා හාමුදුරුවන්ටත් ඉස්සර වෙලා යනවා. ඉතින් ආයෙ ගිහිල්ලා ආනන්දන් අල්ල පිටිපස්සට දානවා. ආයෙත් යනවා ඉස්සර වෙලා.
So now what happens in this meditation center, there is a way of conducting things, otherwise it is a big mess. So one of them is the way people go for their meals. So the usual thing is you have like a row or column of people starting with the most senior monks, then the monks go one by one according to seniority. Behind them go maybe the nuns, or then only after that go the lay people, and first go male and then females, and then again according to age or seniority. So now normally it happens without any setback. People just understand how it works and they go like this. So now this in the 1950s, this kind of shop owner or businessman from one part of Sri Lanka, suddenly one day when the row of people starts getting ready to go for a meal, he goes in front of everybody, even in front of the senior monks. And the reason was he thought he already achieved arahatship, so as an arahat he should be going first. So then there was this monk who was actually kind of instructing him or something, that quickly ran towards him and tried to drag him back to his place at the back of the row of the people. But this person was always trying to get in the front. So this is not a case of upakilesa, that is like corruption of meditation, which is sometimes people get some strong meditation experience later in the practice, which might make them overestimate what they achieve. So this is not the case with this guy. This guy was like not even at that level. In him actually it was this lack of sati that led him to believe those things and go in the front. So because if you have that level of, like, your mind operates at that level, you are not you have not even gone to the level where these good qualities become indriyas or spiritual faculties, and actually if you don't correct your situation, you are not able to achieve getting the spiritual faculties.
අවිද්‍යා දෝමනස්ස දෙකෙන් ඊට තණ්හාමාන දිට්ඨි දෙකෙන් තර එතකොට මොකද ඒකට පාඩින් දැක්කේ සතිය ඒ සති පච්චපට්ඨිතා ඉන්නේ ඊළඟ දැන් ඒක තමයි කියන්න තියෙන්නේ මම තණ්හාමාන දිට්ඨි වශයෙන් ගන්න නැහැ කියලා කිව්වනේ අනිසිතව චෙතෙන්න බෑ එතකොට දැන් ඔන්න සති පච්චපට්ඨිතා හොදි අර ඒ විදිහට තණ්හාමාන දිට්ඨිය වලින් අයින් වුණාන් පස්සේ සති පච්චපට්ඨිතා හරියටම පිළිතුරු.
So it is actually this Lopakamra is quoting the part of Satipatthana Sutta that is at the end towards every section, and that talks about how one is established in the practice. The word used there is Sati Pachupatita. So it's like something like that. Sati gets established on the sati itself, and as a result of not clinging to anything in the world, so then it's just the sati is establishing on top of another sati. So that means the sati is really well established, or the person is well established within sati. So that means without fail, one is apprehending the objects with sati without fail, like very purely. So this is what is then the same section actually. So it says this is what is meant by one dwells. It's English. In English, usually go like one dwells he dwells contemplating the body in the body also.
Oh.
Observing the body as the body, he dwells like that. So that is that level of practice.
මම ඉතල භාවනා කරන්නේ.
So long time ago I used to come for my meditation.
කවදාකවත් මම සතිය තියනවායි කියලා කියන්නේ සතිය නෑ කියලා.
So I never heard from the teachers at all telling me now okay you have sati or whatnot. It was the other way around.
මම ඉතින් කල්පනා කරලා බැලුන්නේ මේ.
So then I thought because like that we were supposed to develop this sati and I always only heard that you don't have sati. I was getting kind of discouraged and was thinking of giving up practicing.
ඒකද තමයි අතන දෙන්නත් තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි කියන දෙන්න. ඒ දෙන්නේ තමයි මේ හාමුදුරු ගියේ නාන්නේ.
So those days the bathing arrangement were like this in the like all the center. There was one outside bathing well which was for lay males and monks, which was like a bit further away. You had to like leave the living quarters and go there maybe 150 meters or something like that in a kind of a bit secluded spot, and it had this like kind of surrounding wall that was like functioning as a screen also.
මම දැන් භාවනා කරලා ඒ දින්දේ මේ හයිනේ ඒ භාවනා කළේ දැන් සතිය නැති වුණා දින්දට වැටෙන්නේ.
So then because I was always hearing you don't have sati, I thought I should take extreme measures so I will somehow manage to produce this sati in some way or another. So I got the idea to sit on the top of this wall, thinking if I start lacking sati, like nodding asleep or something, I might risk falling into this bathing well. So I was sitting on top of this wall meditating. So even though I was doing that, still what I heard was no, you don't have sati. So then I thought like I don't know what to do, and no matter what I do, still I hear I don't have sati. So then I thought like really it's no use of me coming here to the center, and I was really going to give up coming. So then I was actually I stopped coming. So the reason being because no matter what how much I tried, still I was hearing you don't have sati. So anyway, later on there was this there is a traditional kind of festival, and I was giving called Katina Pinkama, which is at the end of the so-called rains season. So the monks, they have something called rains retreat, which is about 3 months plus 1. So then afterwards the lay people supporting the place, they organize this kind of it's like celebration as a conclusion of this monks observing the rains retreat in the place. So actually for a year or two I was really not, I did not go visit the center because like no matter what I tried, I heard always that I don't have sati. So for a year or two I was actually not there in the center. So anyway, somehow I came for this Katina ceremony, and when the chief monk met me, he asked me, Boyo, why are you not coming? So then I told him because I just always heard you don't have sati, so then I thought it's useless for me to try anymore, so I don't come. So then the chief monk told me, that's okay, it doesn't matter really, so anyway come.
හුඟක් කල් ගියා මට මේ ගතිය තියෙන එක තේරුම් ගන්න මහාන වෙලා හුඟක් කල් ගියා ඒත් මට තේරුන්නේ නැහැ.
Still, I could not understand this about this sati and one day why they were saying this. Even I got already ordained and was meditating and everything, and it took me a number of years figuring that one out.
ඔව් කලක් ගියා ඒක මේ සතිය කියන්නේ කොයි විදිහකටද කොහොම එකක්ද ඈ
So understanding what is this sati, how it works, and so on, it really took a number of years.
මම හිතේ තියන්නේ මේ අත ගන්නවා ගේනවා තියෙනවා මොම යන්නේකනේ ඒ දැන් හිමින් කකුල උස්සනවා තියෙනවා ඒව තමයි මම සතියට හිතේ තියන්නේ.
Because I thought what the explanation when you are giving explanation how to practice is slow down to all the movements and do one thing. So like let's say you want to pick something up, then you should be moving only the hand and do it slowly and really paying attention to all the movements. So I thought sati means this like slowing down and paying attention and doing one thing only and very carefully paying attention to the movements. I thought that sati was that.
ඒ අරමුණු දැඩිවට ගැනීමෙන් හා මේ එතකොට මේ වැඩිම තියෙන දැඩි කොට ගැනීමේ වෙන් වෙලා තණ්හා මාන දෙක අයින් වෙලා තියෙන එකයි කියලා තේරුම්ගේ පස්සේ උගාක් කල්ගියේ.
So it took me a long time understanding that the actual thing sati is it happens while noting the object or being attentive to what is happening. But it is the thing that keeps the mind from strongly grasping the experience, which means also the craving and conceit is not involved in that experience. So it is the sati that is doing that thing that is sati, not the slow paying attention.
ඊට පස්සේ තමයි මනසිකාරය වෙන්නේ මේකක් මේ සතිය වෙන මේකක් කියලා.
When I finally understood, then it was very clear. Okay, so when we talk about these things, this part of that is paying attention or noting, which is one thing, and the sati is this part of the experience, which is another part, different thing.
ඒතකොට කායික ආරම්මන කරේ මේ මොකද්ද දැඩි ලෝභයයි දෝමනස්යනේ වේදනාවෙන් එක එතකොට දෝමනස්ය දැඩි ඒ දෙකම ලෝභය දේශය දෙකම මේ සිතේ නැහැ වැටේම ධම්මානුපස්සනාවෙත් එහෙම ඒ වගේ හැම හේකම මේ දැඩි ලෝභයයි මේ අමනාපය දෙක නැතුව.
So then what happens is within the practice, whenever it is maybe bodily object that is happening, there is no strong holding on to that experience and no conflicting with that. So that means there is no craving and aversion, craving and conceit there as well. Or it might be the experiencing or feeling itself. So again, when that happens to be happening, there is no strong holding on to and no conflicting. Or with the mind state, if it's the mind state that is now like predominant there, so again there is no strong holding on to it or rejecting that, or it can be like mind concomitant, different factors there, and there also there is no strong holding on to it or grasping it strongly and no rejection.
දැන් මේ කායික ක්‍රියා කරන නෙමේ වැඩ සක්මන් යන්නේ නේද දාන වන්දන එහෙම එහෙම හිමින් කළා හිමින් කරයි කලා කිව්වට සතිය තියෙනවායි කියලා එහෙම ගන්න බෑ තියෙනවායි කියලා.
So the instruction was really to do things, especially the bodily movements, extremely slowly. But the fact that somebody is moving slowly and seemingly very composedly and carefully like that, it does not say anything if there is really sati or not.
ඒක බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් හිමින් යනවා. ඉතින් මේ යන්නේ මේ නිවන පිණිස නෙවෙයි. ඔව්.
So because this like slow movement can be happening together with all kind of expectations or some kind of expectations. Like I asked Okamu what he means. So I says like you can be doing this very slow lifting of the feet and carrying and putting it like walking very slowly and like that. But this is not your behind agenda is nothing to do with achieving nibbana. It's something else.
ඒක මානසිකාරයේ තියෙනවා. ඒකේ අර හිමින් කරන්නේ වේ මානසිකාරයේ තියෙනවා.
If you do those things slowly, the attention is there.
හැබැයි මේ සතිය නෑ. සතිය අඩුයි.
But so it can be the attention is there while doing these things extremely slowly like that. But even though that attention is there, sati is not there.
ඔයා මෙනෙහි කරන්නේ මේ ඇතැම් වෙලාවට ලෙඩ අරගන්න. ඇතැම් වෙලාවට අධ්‍යාපනය. නැත්නම් රැකියාවේ මොකක් හරි බලන්න ඒ වගේ භාවනා පටන් ගන්න ඉන්න. නිවන බලාගෙන පටන් ගන්න ඇතින්න.
So because some people do that practice with different reasons, so they start practicing because they want to get good luck for passing exams, or some of them might think by practicing this I might be getting good mind to get the exam done for. Or some people heard that meditating can help you overcoming all kind of like health problems. And then there are of course some people that want to meditate because they want to achieve nibbana.
ඔව්. උඟක් දෙනෙක් යාර නිබ්බාන පැත්තටම නෙමෙයි උඟක් දෙනෙක් කරන්නේ දැන් මේ කාලේ.
So these days of course many people don't meditate because of nibbana. It's like the opposite way. It's like it's not. It's a small number of people that meditate because they want to.
දැන් ඔය පිටරාලෝට සති mindfulness therapy උගන්වනවා ඒවා සති නෙවෙයි ඒවා.
So the problem is now this satya has been translated as mindfulness, and now this word mindfulness is in the vogue in the world. So in hospitals you have different mindfulness based therapies and whatnot, all kind of things to do with mindfulness in the hospitals, helping with sick people. But that whenever they use the word mindfulness, that's actually nothing to do with sati.
ඒවාර මානසිකාරය පොඩ්ඩු කරන්නේ.
Most of those things they have to do with some kind of attention or awareness.
ඔව් දැන් තෙලක්කා ඉන්නවා මේ සති ක්ලාස් දානවනේ. සතිය කියන එක ඇත්තට සතිය කියන එක මොකක්ද කියලා දැන් මුස්ලිමයත් ඉන්නවා, කතෝලිකයත් ඉන්නවා, හින්දුවයත් ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ දිට්ඨියත් එක්ක මේක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේක එන්නේ මේකට.
So now these classes, if it's like mindfulness class, so if you think sati is mindfulness, so they learn about sati. So says you can immediately understand this is not going to work because people that come for this mindfulness class, they might be Muslim, Christians or whatnot, and it cannot really work while keeping your worldview as a Muslim, Christian or whatnot. You cannot really develop sati.
ඒගොල්ලන්ට කියා දෙන්නේ ඒක හොඳයි. ඉතින් මම නරකයි කියන්නේ.
I am not saying it's bad. These mindfulness classes, they have some good potential and they do good things. So it's nothing wrong with teaching those people about those things. But I think Lokam's point is it is nothing to do with sati.
ඒගොල්ලන්ට අර මානසිකාරය පොඩ්ඩු කරන්න පුළුවන්.
And those people can at least like learn about paying attention or noting.
ඔව් මේ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ මේ මුස්ලිම් කෙනෙක් භාවනා කළා.
There was a
මහාචාර්ය කෙනෙක්.
There was this follower of Islam that trained here. Like in Paranamad.
නෑ ඕ මම නෑ කන්ද අපවත් උනාට පස්සේ.
හැබැයි
මේ
So in the old center, that means the next door center, after Lokoham's teacher passed away, there was this professor that was actually a Muslim, and he came to try this practice. So he was taught about attention and noting things.
එකදාකත් තේරුණාලු මේ මානසික කාර්යයි උදේ කැඳ ගේනවනේ. ඒ කැඳ වළඳලා වෙලා නිදා ගන්න හිතෙනවලු. එතකොට මේ කුරුල්ලොත් කෑ ගන්නලු. කපුටෝ එහෙම උදේ. එයන් බෙනේ ගල්ලා වෙලා මේ මොකද්ද මම මේ කරන්නේ කියලා.
So now those days, at least those days, normally the yogis were brought this kanji as kind of gruel, hot kind of soup thing in the early morning as kind of support, because they wake up quite early. So around 5 o'clock they are given this hot drink thing. So this Muslim professor was like noting that he was drinking this kanji and hearing the sounds of birds and thinking of lying down and sleeping some more. And when he was noting those things, he understood, what the heck I am doing here. He understood like sometimes there might be anger arising when I'm with some of these objects. There is anger.
තරහෙන් අරගන්නෙත් නැතුව මේ ලෝභයෙන් ගන්නෙත් නැතුව මේක යන්න ඕනේ කියලා වැටුණා.
So what he understood at that moment was, this is what is happening. Either there is like strong grasping or holding on to the objects of experience, or kind of fighting with them. So if I can just avoid both of these, just know about the objects, that is a good way to.
එදා තමයිලු මේ සතුට ඇති වුණේ.
So when that happened, he reported that and told during the interview that he got actually very happy and satisfied.
එතන තමයිලු මේ කුසලයේ ඇති වෙන්නේ.
Because that is the place where some kind of wholesomeness is arising.
එයාගේ මේ බණකුත් තිබුණා ඊට පස්සේ බණක් කියලා. ඒ බණ ටික අරන් ගියා.
So afterwards he used to give some kind of like.
එතෙන් තමුන්ගේ රටට යන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේ එංගලන්තේ ඉඳලා කෙලින්ම මෙහි ආවා. එංගලන්තේ ඉඳලා මේ තමුන්ගේ රටට පාදි වෙලා යනකොට යන්න ඕනේ මේ කඳුබට.
So the situation was, he was not Sri Lankan, he was from somewhere else, and he finished his degree in England. So after finishing his degree in England, on the way home he stopped here and is the idea of meditating. So afterwards he was giving some kind of like speeches or lectures about his experience.
But
he told Loko Hamudru, I cannot explain about this to anybody in my own country.
Oh, isn't that මේක ඇත්ත කියලා දෙන්න පුළුවන් එක්කෙනෙක් ඉන්නකෝ අයියාගේ දුව.
He said, there's only one person I can think of in my own country that I might be able to talk about this, and that is my anyway, my niece. So the niece is kind of in such a position that I might be able to explain, and she might benefit from hearing these things, but now nobody else. So there are people like that like based on their own understanding and experience, they start changing. But anyway, it's not like this. Real sati is, what if I understand correctly, Loka was saying, real sati is really not compatible with those other teachings. So the meaning is, if you are starting to get to real sati, that means you start leaving like the other ideas. But paying attention is no problem, that one can be taught. And that can be like mixed together with any kind of views, and there is no problem there. This sati is something deeply personal.
බුදුහාමුදුර ප්‍රධානම දේශනා කරපු එක සතිය. මේ සතිය
So anyway, so Lokam was saying also the face is important and the triple gem and actually sati is something that was like the Buddha's main topic.
විදේම දේශනා කරපු සතිපට්ඨාන.
This satipatthana or so-called establishments of mindfulness is a very like main and exclusive Buddha's teaching.
එතකොට මේ දැන් ඔය මේ කුරු රටනේ සතිපට්ඨානෙ දේශනා කරේ හැම එක්කෙනෙම සතිපට්ඨානෙ පුරුදු වුණාලු. ඉතින් බලන්න. දැන් තේරුම් ගන්න.
So this satipatthana was taught in the land of the Kurus, and it seems there is a report that later on everybody there got trained in this this sati.
සතිපට්ඨාන දේශනා කරපු තැන දිල්ලියේ මහා ජරා වැඩිකිල්ලා ගොඩක් ගා තිච්ච තැන මා යනිනවත් ඒ තමයි එතන මේ සුද්ධ කරන්න මේ හිතපු තානාපති නෝනත් ගාන්ධි මැතිණියට කිව්වේ. හරි ගාන්ධිගේ මොනපුරේ සිටි ඉතින් භාවනා කරන්න කොළඹ එන.
So this just kind of illustration to that is the place where this Satipatthana Sutta was taught is in the area of Delhi or something, and in the place there used to be, it was like open ground which was used as a kind of rubbish heap or all kind of everything you can find, anything. So when Lokam was in Colombo, this granddaughter of Mr. Gandhi was staying in Colombo and coming to the center to meet Lokam and learn about meditation. So because Anil was also there, so Lokam said when she asked if there is anything to do, she was told that the place where this so important sutta was taught is now basically in the middle of not rubbish but like all kind of stuff there. Okay, so when she heard about that, she organized it, and now it's like nice park, because in the place there was a plate from maybe I think Ashoka or something like denoting the place. So but now it's nicely done park and like the area is protected and everything, and so that happened.
ඉතින් මේ සතිපට්ඨාන කියා දෙනවනේ. සතිපට්ඨාන කියා දෙනකොට කියනවා ටික දවසක් යනකොට එනවා නහනවා මගේ ආන්නේ මේක මේ කොහේ එකක්ද මම ඉතින් මජ්ක්‍ධිම නිකායේ ඉංග්‍රීසි පොත දුන්නා නේ සතිපට්ඨාන.
So she was learning about meditation. One time she asked Bante, where does it come from or what? So she was given and pointed out the place in Majjhima Nikaya. And when she inquired, she actually found this was the Buddha was teaching this to my people from my own country in that place in the. So then when she learned about the situation, because she had the connections like that, so they.
දිව්‍යා කියලා දුවෙක් හිටියා. ඒ නම උංගා භාවනා කරනවා. දිව්‍යා. ඇමරිකාවෙන් ඉඳලා ඇවිල්ලා දිව්‍යා නිතරම භාවනා කරන්න පටන් ගත්තා. ඉතින් ඒකෙන් තමයි අම්මත් භාවනා පටන් ගත්තේ.
So she had daughter that stayed in America and came here, and she was meditating quite a lot. So from this daughter, this lady got the idea to meditate. Anyway, so may be well and happy and protected by the people here. And thank